Hello everybody, welcome to the 6th Invitational 2020 Open Qualifiers number 3. I'm your caster Beniel, joined by the lovely Red Cube. How's it going?
It's going really good. Obviously, I've been kind of out of the invitational qualifier mix, but this game we have first round always. Let's put a disclaimer. First round is always just kind of a mess of a lot of skill levels, and you don't necessarily know what you're going to get. But Bad Company versus Amnesty, I have a lot of personal relationships with a lot of the players on both of these teams. And also, these two teams are very close. So even though it is the first round and we're kind of clean slate right now and there's not much we can go off of, this is still going to be a very interesting match. And I'm extremely excited.
Bias caster, hashtag.
Not this again. I've been through this too many times.
But yeah, it's just a chill first round because there's a lot of teams that are playing each other that aren't really fit for each other. So this is just me a first round. We're just kind of screwing around, just seeing teams playing these, showing off teams that usually aren't shown off because of the fact that usually we're showing off the guys in first or second place or up in the top 8 usually. So this is just first round. We can cast what we want because nobody's really played yet. And the ban so far pretty normal. Get rid of nomads. Get another defender jump out. Get rid of capital. Get rid of mirror. It's pretty normal as always.
Yeah, there's nothing necessarily crazy happening, especially on a map like Border. Everything that has been crazy on Border has already happened quite a long time ago because Border's turned into one of those maps where it's just the same thing over and over and over again because it's been fleshed out to its bones. And although that's kind of annoying for casters, because I think Benny agree with me or just disagree with me if you want, but there was a time in casting when it was Border like every single game, no matter what. And it was so ridiculously annoying, but we've kind of strayed away from that. But the thing that still lies there is the fact that Border's been played so many times. The strats are pretty much fleshed out, and you're not going to see too many crazy things, and those bans are going to exemplify that fairly well.
Well, you see crazy things based on how they play, but if every team is playing like they want to win, it's gonna be the same strats because you want to win. You want to play the most efficient way possible. The only time you ever get anything different is when teams play for memes. They play crazy, they play out of the ordinary, but that's not very often, especially in invitational quals where people are trying to get those points, trying to make their way into the closed qualifiers on the 16th of December. If you guys didn't know, there are 5. I thought there actually were 4, but there's actually 5 qualifiers, 5 open qualifiers for each region, and you get points based on how you place each and every single qualifier. You do need to not lose 3 times. Once you lose 3 times, you're out of the qualifier entirely. So each team is trying to, not lose 3 times, make as many points as possible, as many wins as possible, to make their way into close qualifier with the 16th. So nothing too crazy, but yeah, teams are gonna probably play pretty seriously, which is the less fun part because we do cast sometimes many maps in a row.
Yeah, and the thing is it's invitational qualifiers. Everybody wants to be on that main stage in invitationals, and it's not necessarily a thing that's guaranteed for anybody. So, of course, people are going to play their heart out and play their hardest because this is, again, like we were talking about earlier on, this is a stage for a lot of these teams, a lot of these players to kind of get their name out there and become a little bit more well-known than the teams that we normally cast. And this is a great example of that. Not a lot of people have necessarily heard of Bad Company. Not a lot of people have necessarily heard of Amnesty Gaming, but you probably recognize a couple names on both of their teams, and this is a really good start. Not necessarily a start, but this is a really good kind of stepping stone for both of these teams and all of these players to kind of get started. And talk about getting started, that's not a good stepping stone. It's Thunderbolt right off the bat takes off Raiden's head. That's your Hibana off the board, your only hard breacher. And oh god, that's gotta hurt just a little bit. To start things off, that is probably the last thing you want to do.
Oh, that's painful to see. You were just talking about stepping stones. I'm going to tell you, starting off with a good step. And we see a team kill off the bat already. Hey, it is out of the order at least, though. He says something different. It causes now for the team of Bad Company to play a little harder this time. They got one man down. They got to really pull out the strats if they're going to win this round against Amnesty Gaming on their first defense.
Yeah, that's just kind of unfortunate, especially losing an operator like the Hibana. It kind of just creates your push. It doesn't necessarily... It puts your push in a position where you have to change quite a bit. Whereas if it maybe was an IQ that fell or the sledge that fell, you could pretty much do the same thing. Whereas now you don't have any hard breacher and you're kind of going to have to rotate to a completely different style. And it looks like they are going to be opting for this east side push, but relatively speaking, we are kind of seeing the entire attacking team pretty spread out right now. And I think after that team kill, they have definitely slowed things down quite a bit, and they're just trying to find their footing here.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of rotations. Oh, and Dirty Dollar will see one whenever they get the kill. And yeah, it seems as though now MC, well, not MC game, but Bad Company's trying to figure what they're going to do. They're trying to spread out, see where they can, what exploits they can find. There's one guy to stand there. Don't be setting his head off. And first, they get taken out by Nala. Now it's down to a 3v4, actually. It's very much possible.
Yeah, and a 4v2 now, and just like that, making it a 4v1. And even after the team kill, we seen Bad Company just wakes right back up, and they say, you know what? We don't need Raiden to have a convincing round. If it wasn't for that team kill, that would have been a completely flawless round for Bad Company. And although it wasn't a good initial start, that is a pretty good, I guess, late start for Bad Company as they take round number 1 in fairly convincing fashion.
Yeah, that was a very odd one, as you had most of Bad Company just kind of walking around, kind of feeling their way through it. There were some drones coming out. You saw some drones here from Bad Company, but for the most part, it was a lot of face checking actually from Bad Company.
Yes.
Around that point, there was a lot of face checking, and surprisingly, they face checked their way into the weak points of MC Gaming's defense, walked right through some holes they didn't expect them to, and they got into archives, got into sight, took control, won all their gunfights too, surprisingly.
Yeah, and face checking is not something I guess we recommend because most of the time it doesn't really work. But you know what they say, a bad clock is right twice a day, and it looks like it worked out for them this time around because, well, they got a, essentially, I'd like to call it a flawless round because it technically was, but it's just that team kill was the one to prevent that from happening. So even with a relatively flawed push from Bad Company in terms of just kind of face checking everything, not necessarily having too much intel on exactly where the defenders are, it worked out very, very well. And I don't necessarily know if that speaks volumes to just how good Bad Company is, or rather there's maybe just a big flaw in the way that Amnesty Gaming was holding this site, because they do have that rotate right into Fountain. That's not something you typically see, but I do like what they're doing with it now. So last time around they did not have that shield there, and it really prevented anybody from kind of playing that 90-degree corner and denying E-stairs or denying a push from break room. But now with that shield there, it allows the player in Fountain to not only rotate out, but just be a little bit more comfortable in that situation, instead of basically kind of an open door for an attacker to come in and shoot the castle straight in the head like we saw last time.
Yeah, the big thing too is it seems like a little bit lack of information. Maybe Amnesty gave a little more. They got a little complacent because of the fact that it was a 4v5. They were not really too worried about people walking around. So I think at that point they were just kind of not really worried for it. They were just kind of waiting for them to push in, expecting maybe a rush, but they didn't expect for Bad Company just to walk through some of these angles they expect to be in. I think big thing too is the fact that you had Dirty Dollar inside of CCTV, and he's able to walk from CCTV right through the rotation into Fountain, and nobody really expects that. So hopefully this time with Amnesty Gaming a lot more aware. Maybe if they lose one, they maybe bring another intel operator. As you say, that looks like Moose is gonna get one though. It's a Thunderbolt. Heavy damage on a set though. A set takes very damage. Oh, there's a Claymore to get rid of Matter though, and now it's down to a 4v4 as a quick amount of 2 kills come through.
Yeah, just like that, 4v4, and I think maybe a little bit too aggressive play there from the Bandit, trying to run out onto, I don't exactly know who it was, but it doesn't necessarily matter as the Bandit has met the grave. And right now, in terms of health, it's going to be the Defender is coming out worse for wear, as well as the fact we saw the push from Bad Company was very, very good last time around, and they didn't have a Hibana. Now that they have a Hibana, it opens up the doors for many different possibilities, and this push could be a lot better than what we saw before. Amnesty Gaming, though, they are kind of just holding it down just a little bit, as Moose, unfortunately, is not going to be able to hold those shots, but that's going to be an easy frag for him as Raiden walks right into the crosshairs. But it's going to be Dirty Dollars once again, this time not with the Claymore. He's able to even up the slate, and now he's putting the slate back in favor, but it's going to be the defense who just tries to keep them alive. But it is going to be a 2v1 now. You still have the Zofia and the Sledge on the board. So much utility, and the castle doesn't have a lot of health. This is looking very, very good for Bad Company, as well as the fact there is a retake on the horizon. So Castle, in a situation like this, you don't expect him to win, and that's exactly what's going to happen. He's not going to win. So Bad Company, 2 rounds in a row now, are looking very, very good.
Yeah, that was actually a really interesting start. Both teams losing members in the first, minute or so. But then you had MC Gaming winning some gunfights, winning some long-range gunfights, but also losing territory quite quickly at Dirty Dollar. You had a bit of too much concentrated in one area. You had the castle taking shots. He kind of just left too. It was interesting how the castle kind of just left sight and never came back until the very end. He had 2 members in archives. He had 1 member watching the West Armory wall, and he was the only person to do that on his own. I think it was the Jaeger at that point, or some other character was doing that. But either way, it was kind of all lonesome by himself. He gets taken out. Dirty Dollar takes control of Armory, and it's kind of a pinch from Bad Company. Definitely made me more aware of that. I see the Valkyries coming out, so there's more information. I kind of thought that's what they need too, is more information on their team.
Yeah.
And as I say that, maybe not, because we're going to Beth from Tellers.
This is a little bit questionable in my opinion. Obviously, you do not want to get stubborn in terms of the site that you choose, but this is a secondary bomb site. Most of the time, you will see the upstairs is going to be played the most, like we just saw, and then it's going to be workshop as the second played. But now we're seeing bathroom. This is not something you really see all the time. Obviously, some teams are very comfortable on this, but you actually see customs more than this site, and maybe this is kind of just a pocket hole that we're kind of seeing from Amnesty Gaming that they want to try out. But there's always something that goes through my head with these types of picks, because it's definitely going to throw off the other team just a little bit, but is that kind of glimpse of surprise and that just little moment of, oh, the other team's confused, really worth going to a secondary bomb site that's not as viable? I don't necessarily know. Obviously, Amnesty Gaming could prove me wrong, and this could be actually like one of their best sites, but we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, I kind of agree. It's usually you throw the curveball, you throw the tertiary site, you throw that site that you would expect at the attackers. But at this level of play, you expect most teams to know how to attack those sites though. Either way, even if they aren't expecting.
Benny, are you talking by any chance?
I am talking. Yeah.
For some reason, oh, my dog unplugged my headset. Never mind. 1 second. Wait, actually, no. Can you talk, Benny?
I'm talking right now. Can you hear me?
Still having some audio issues. 1 second. I'll try to disconnect and reconnect.
Well, guys, if you didn't know, Henry has died. As for Dirty Dog gets the first kill onto Moose. It looks like they're pushing through Workshop, taking control of Workshop. This is also, yeah, again, the tertiary site, it's like most teams know how to play these sites. Even if you are going to play above, you're going to play the site differently. It's not very hard for teams to dissect how to take it over, drone it out, and make sure they know what to do. As BCs are taking control of Workshop, there is now an angle on the site. But again, they're holding upstairs, though. The defenders have an angle upstairs, though, take control, or at least to deny the plan. As you see, Thunderbolt's going to push through. Dirty Dog's get the first got another kill onto Ant. And are you alive or are you dead?
Yeah, I'm good. I have no idea what just happened.
Thunderbolt gets another. Furta gets one of the first kill. He gets off Asian. It goes down to Furta. Frutata gets another kill onto Thunderbolt. I just noticed I wasn't pronouncing his name correctly. But now it's down to a minute 25 with a 1v3. It's not really hard to finish off Frutata.
Yes, I am coming back from a slight audio miscue. I don't exactly know what happened, but I was able to watch the round, and so far, this site is not looking good for Amnesty Gaming. It definitely was a risk, and it's not necessarily a risk that looks like it's going to pay off. Looks like, well, that was a weird animation, but the plant is going to be coming down as we do see somehow in the midst of that smoke. Come down. Frutata's able to find two, though. It's going to be a quad for him, and he's going to have to ace it if he wants to hold this round together. And there is a lot of cards in the deck. We're just going to have to see if he can pull out the ace. With the positioning from Naled, this is looking very, very good for the attacking team. The diffuser is in a spot where just peeking from that hatch is almost going to guarantee a kill for the Zofia. And it looks like Smoke is just going to be going straight for the defuse. He's going to pull off and just wait. And now you're reaching that point where it could be close to no return. Waiting once again. Zofia is able to find the kill in bad company. A little bit too close for comfort, in my opinion, but they are still going to be holding it true to a 3-0.
Yeah, that was very close for the smoke there. But again, he had the Zofia of Naled had the upstairs control at that point. It's in the bag. It's unfortunate that both the... Well, I guess the thing, in fact, that the Habana went down makes sense, though, because they were in the smoke anyway. But then the headshot onto the IQ from Tata was actually really good. Almost closed around at that point. But again, you had the Zofia above upstairs control. Not much for Frutata to do at that point unless they want to go upstairs and get the kill elsewise. It's a very difficult situation for them. But still, it's still 3 rounds in a row here for Bad Company. On attack here in Border, it's becoming an attacker-sided game, it seems like, or it's becoming BC's game entirely.
Yeah, this is a defender-sided map, but it's actually one of the more competitive maps in the pool currently, so it's 47-52 about. There's obviously some decimals here and there to kind of round things out, but this is a defender-sided map, and the fact that the attackers are pretty much taking all of these rounds fairly convincingly, although that last one, yes, it was a 1v1, there was a point when it was a 5v1. No, 4v1. So it's still pretty much in favor of Bad Company, so I don't necessarily know if it's the map advantage or map disadvantage, but rather just the fact that Bad Company might be outplaying Amnesty Gaming in this moment. And I just have a quick question. When I got kind of done with my talking spiel and I couldn't hear you, were you talking and did I just kind of come in randomly and were like, hey,
yes, you did. Yeah, you did actually. Yeah, you did. I was in the middle of talking and all of a sudden you're like, are you talking, Benny? I was like, are you okay over there?
Because I saw the green I mean, I lost all audio, and then my dog unplugged my headset. I was like, oh my god, it's going all over the place. But we're back. This is NA. Technical difficulty. Yeah. Technical difficulties are inevitable in North America.
That's not technical. That's dog difficulty.
That's dog difficulties. Yeah.
That's not technical difficulties whatsoever.
Yeah, that's just my dog trying to make his presence as known as possible. But we are moving into the action phase now, in Bad Company with, I think, a lot of confidence on their side and also in a pretty comfortable position. They just need one more round and they can secure the half. So obviously everybody knows it's 6 rounds on attack, 6 rounds on defense. So right now they have secured a draw going into the half, but if they make it 4-0, they're going to secure the half, and then no matter what, will be able to kind of sit comfortably once they go into defense at most or at least a 4v2.
Yeah, it's
well, 4 rounds to 2.
Yeah, of course. It's interesting to see, like, definitely to see a different defense here from MC Gaming if they're going to win this out.
What is happening?
Did you lose audio again? God damn it. Well, as I say, that looks like Red Cube's dead again, like always, and we have the rest of AG here, rest of MC Gaming, waiting for that push. Again, they have to kind of reconsist themselves, adapt to what exactly we see from Bad Company, though I will say they at least brought some traps to try and deny them, but they're still not really denying any of this territory taking. As you see now, Bad Company has control of Office, totally control of Office. They're all joining Archives, and actually, I just noticed this actually is a downstairs defense. This is a defense. They're not gonna thought this was a Army Archives defense, not a workshop ventilation defense. But either way, the big thing here is that they're gonna drone and make sure upstairs is clear. At least drone it out and figure if they deal with these roamers here and Tata, who's inside of a small office and getting shots from. There's already 3 members inside of Archives at this point. They're trying to deal with, and he's gonna pre-fire as much as possible. Not gonna find anybody for the moment though. Tata is in a position right on the middle stairs to deal with enemy walking through 90, but the slow going. He's only mid left, so anything too. They've wasted a lot of time here for the defense, though. The defense wastes just a lot of the attacking time. With a minute left, it's now kind of a bit of a rush from the attackers. Raiden and Dirty Dolly going to make their way into bathroom. And we're now coming to the last 40-second of this round. Shots coming through. What exactly are they going to plan? You still have Ant above those, so they can deny a B push. But if they go on to A and they get rid of the attackers or defenders on site, there he goes. Dirty Dolly going to matter, though, as they try to push in. No, one pushes through. You'll see the head of another. Matt gets 2 on the Raiden as well. Now it's a 3v5. As the rest of attackers are not having a fun time pushing through. Archives hatch is open, and they're actually trying to kind of take control of Archives, but it looks like nobody will piece of hatch. Seth will get Beige, and now 2v5 actually. Now it goes down. That's a 1v5. Thunderbolt gets matter though. Now it's down above, and now it's up to Thunderbolt. He's not going to try to pick up Mallet. Ant is going to finish him now instead. Now 1v4 from above will be Ant to jump down. Actually, no, it will be from Tata to jump down with a shotgun to finish up Thunderbolt. And I think Red Cube's dead. So on to round 5. We have the first round, first defense win for the defenders of MC Gaming, but they're going to need at least 2 more if they want to catch up, make it 3-3 rather than a 4-2 in the favor of Bad Company.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
It sounds like, seems as though it looks like Henry died. So we'll be redoing our upstairs defense here, our Army Archives defense. They've won Venetian Workshop, one of the preferred sites here on Border. They have not won upstairs though in Army Archives, which is definitely a big deal here for MC Gaming if they want to get actually be, you know, able to contest Bad Company in the second half. If they end this half 4-2 or 5-1, it's not looking good here for MC Gaming. And guys, if you guys didn't know, it's a best of 1. There's 9 rounds in these open qualifiers. It's a Swiss format. So if you lose 3 times, you're out of the qualifier. So both teams, this is the first round. Probably not looking to lose that first round, at least. Bad Company so far on this map or on this bomb site have won both times, attacking from archives or from office into archives. They've also had members go through us armory, take control of that, and it seems as though Amnesty Gaming a lot of times do seem to forget or seem not to have some miss some angles. They seem to forget where people are, and they do work on Bad Company most time to exploit those weaknesses. We see Bayesian just opening up wood up here. Interesting. Raiden's got all 3 X-Kyles deployed at this point as he's waiting for a call from the attackers or from the rest of the team to push it open and open those up. But again, it seems like as though Amnesty Gaming are very turtle, they're very passive, allowing for the attackers here. I mean, they take control of everything, whether it be CCTV or the office. There's not a lot of push. I know they've been losing all the gunfights. Maybe it's why they're being so passive, is because they're losing a lot of these gunfights straight up against Bad Company. So they're trying to, allow for the attackers to get into their angles and their fights and win them out as they have the advantage. But as I say that, there's a shot onto the Maestro. No shots will connect though. That's Moose. You'll see the head of one. He won't make the shot though. Shots from both teams will miss, but there's actually a long shot from Thunderbolt all the way from outside. Try wall. He's another head, but actually will be Ant to win that fight against Thunderbolt. It's a trade. It's a Maestro for a Thatcher, which is still a bit of a trade for the attackers to win that set. As Raiden's gonna make his way inside, he sees what's below. It's gonna be for Tata to get it taken out, and now it's a 4v3. Again, they're allowing for the attackers to just walk away in the site, and nobody's denying. As I say, it's Seth's in a great position to get one. He doesn't know where the other person is. Jumping out would actually be the Haban, who'll lose the fight anyway to Raiden. Unfortunate Seth, he couldn't win that second fight. Now down to a 2v3, and again, there's a lot of territory lost. And they are afraid of the other angles. This is where probably a Valkyrie would be nice to have those information if anybody's actually coming. Rain begins to plant the diffuser in the corner of archives, where a place you really can't see. A C4 thrown, thinking they're behind the bomb chassis, but they are not. Rain will begin to plant the diffuser. Actually, was behind the bomb chassis. You have to put it in the corner. As you say, last person next thing that begins matter to go down to small office. Rain will finish up Ant, and it'll be Bad Company to finish another round of 4-1 in their favor. Looking to make this a 5-1.
I'm back. I'm back. I don't know what is going on with my computer, but it went completely frozen. I don't know what's happening. It's just, you gotta love technology, because you use it for so long, and then the moment you actually kind of rely on it, it's like, all right, I am going to just completely pull the door on you, and that's exactly what's happening.
It looks fine. I don't know what yours is.
I think it just hates me. I think
you ain't running it. You're just running Parsec and Discord. It's all you're running. It just died.
Yeah, I know. And it just killed itself. And I was like, okay, nice.
Oh, you can try reconnecting our cube.
Yeah, I'm gonna try right now. God,
that's so weird.
It's like, no way I put all this money into the computer and it can't run Discord. I'm like, okay. But we're back, and I think it should work. If it does, if it crashes again, I'll have to figure it out. But I'm looking at my task manager and everything. And it's literally I'm using 16% of
that's
everything.
I don't know why
so it's just like, I don't know why it's kind of killing itself. But we're back. Yeah. And wow, the round I missed. We see it's a 4-1 now. What happened? What did I miss? What's going on?
Oh yeah, so again, I just see Amnesty is so very passive though. They're allowing for the attackers of BC to take so much territory, and it ends up just coming to gunfights. And some of these long range gunfights too, they end up losing because they're long range gunfights. Yeah. Who has the ACOG? The attackers do.
All right, well, they are going to be going on to attack very shortly here. There is only one more round between them and the side switch, but again, we already see this side of Bad Company has kind of just put in a convincing statement on this half. 4-1 already, could easily take it 5-1, and when you're in that 5-1 situation, you are literally one round away from match point, and from there on out, the other team is going to have to be perfect. And you have to, if you're Amnesty Gaming right now, you have to be perfect for almost 6 rounds in a row in order to just go to overtime. That's not something you necessarily want, and we're just going to have to see maybe they can kind of escape this defensive half with some type of confidence. Going in 4-2 is not the worst thing. It's not the best case scenario, but it's definitely not a 5-1 situation. So we are just going to have to wait and see. But based off of momentum and just the way that Bad Company has been playing, I think they definitely have the advantage so far.
Yeah, I definitely agree. They have the advantage. They know what they're doing. Like, BC seems to be... Bad Company seems to know what they're doing this entire round. They've been playing this very well. And it just seems as though they're... It kind of feels bad because I feel like Amnesty's being, just taken advantage of every single time in these situations. They're drawing out, they're figuring out these defenses, and they're really dissecting them and getting inside. I say that, but I say that also taking the point. The strats from Amnesty Gaming aren't exactly complex.
Yeah. And I think the thing that can really show that is the fact that right now, Bad Company has been doing the same push over and over and over again, especially on this up top attack. It's the same thing. They are bringing the same operators, and they're putting the operators in almost the exact same locations. The only difference this time around being is that Mallet is now perched up on this north side, and he's able to find one, and just like that, Dirty Dollars is able to find two, and it looks like it is going to be a 5-1 going into the half, unless the site operators of the Smoke and the Legion can say something otherwise. Smoke is in a nice spot here to find one, and just like that, he's able to find the diffuser, but it is still a situation, then never mind, I take it right back. It's going to be a 3-3, and the diffuser is down, and this is looking very, very good for Amnesty Gaming. I don't exactly know where the pulse is, but it doesn't necessarily matter, because just like that, the two people that were holding down the site are going to be dead. You still have that presence of the C4 from below. As exactly, I don't know where the pulse is currently, but that is kind of right now the last hope for Amnesty Gaming, and that is not the best spot for it. Yes, you're going to get a kill, but that's not going to be the diffuser. And there is still a very, very solid chance now without that C4 to worry about. Bad Company is probably going to get this plant down. Is going to force the Pulse to retake in a situation where he has the UMP and he is going up against two ACOGs, and this is not going to be very, very easy for him.
He's trying his best to vault over. Oh, he
Yeah,
doesn't make it anyway. That's a bit sad. That's a bit sad. Did he vault into the Claymore? What happened exactly? Oh no, he just
Yeah, that's unfortunate, and I feel like that kind of sums up the Amnesty Gaming defense. They've gotten so close, but no cigar. And just like that, 5-1, it looks like we are going to be having a rehost as an audio bug. Reminder, we are in, I think, the 4th or 5th year of Siege, and this is still an issue.
Yeah, it's a bit sad. But either way, so guys, if you didn't know, it's from last round. So basically that half is just how well BC could attack. But at the same point, yeah, that's just AMC Gaming's defenses were so very simple and so very, like, they won one round. I'm giving that. At least they won that one round. But it's also due to how the fact that, like, Bad Company that round didn't even make a real strat to even get rid of the aromas upstairs, and they wasted so much time. That was the issue too with Bad Company that round. So it's unfortunate, but it seems like there's definitely some basics that MC Gaming needs to work out when it comes to defense.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, I think that's a big reason why they decided to go to Border, because they might not necessarily be the most prepared team, and Border is one of those maps where you can kind of have those default ranked, well, quote unquote, ranked strats. And unfortunately, I think maybe in this situation, Bad Company just did their homework a little bit more. They were able to do their dry runs before this, or they're able to do their dry runs and their scrims constantly, and they just were a little bit more tuned for this map and for this playstyle, because every single round, even the round lost, like you said, BC or Bad Company had a very good chance at winning it. So this could have easily been a 6-0, and then now they're going on a defense, which is the favored side on this map. They could easily have ended this 7-0, and there's still a very high chance that they end this 7-1, which is not too much of a difference, and it's kind of surprising considering I thought coming into this game, these teams were going to be a lot closer. But, I mean, maybe this is just an attacker-sided map in this matchup, and we could see Amnesty Gaming comes right back into this game.
Very true, very true. We'll go to a quick break, guys. We'll be back in a second as we get these teams back into lobby. So All right, we're back, everybody, with Bad Company versus Amnesty Gaming. On to round 7, ending half at a 5-1 in the favor of Bad Company. Red Cube's dog is really in his face right now, so he can't talk.
I'm having a battle with my computer and a battle with my dog, and it's just, it's been definitely interesting. But something that's also been, well, I wouldn't necessarily, I don't want to say it's not interesting, but it's been fairly one-sided, is this matchup. So Bad Company, they're going into the half 5-1. This is a defender-sided map. I'm kind of expecting a 7-1 here. We're looking at the results about 2 seconds ago, and there was a lot of 7-1s, a lot of 7-2s, and this is probably going to align with those. And that's not very surprising, especially in a first round of big qualifiers like this.
It's saddening a little bit because we kind of estimated thinking this would be a close match, hoping it was. This is a bit of a bias we can just cast this match, but either way, we were expecting a better match. Unfortunately, it looks like it is not going to be unless we see a really good attacking half of Amnesty Gaming, which it could happen. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. We've seen attacking side border before. We've seen attacking side clubhouses, but it's still looking improbable. That's how we think of it. More than anything, we're kind of scared for Amnesty Gaming. We'd like them to at least bring it back, show some of the prowess before they, lose entirely. But we have quite a captivating game here from Bad Company.
Yeah, Bad Company has definitely been playing lights out right now. That's something we were actually talking about in the pregame. Is Bad Company is one of those teams where they show up against a lot of really good teams, and then they'll have like a major off game. And right now, they're definitely showing up. And kind of the question now is, are they going to have an off game in these quals, or are they going to stay kind of true to their colors and be this beast that we are seeing right now? That is all up for debate, and then the only person that can really finish that debate is going to be time. But now into the action phase here, as Amnesty Gaming with their first attack is shaping up to be pretty typical. You're not seeing really any crazy operators. Instead of we have that Nomad band, bringing a Gridlock is no surprises, just to try to deny that flank, most likely from East Stairs. But Buck already asserting himself in security room, and again, the Gridlock getting control of break room. This is a really, really good start in terms of map control from the side of Amnesty Gaming.
Yeah, we saw before when we saw Bad Company attack that Amnesty Gaming allowed them to take a lot of territory. I'm wondering if Bad Company is going to do the same, allow for Amnesty Gaming to take a lot of territory without any real resistance. You see Thunderbolt is at office, try to at least put pressure onto break room through the wall, at least to make them more aware that someone is at least watching them, so they have to be a little more, not just can't push in too quickly. Because we saw from Bad Company, whenever they were on attack and they pushed in, they had no problem just walking in office, walking into CCTV, taking these sites away from the defenders. That's kind of why I was kind of scared for AG's defense, or Amnesty Gaming's defense. So hopefully now they can at least take control and win some fights, as Ratasa's their first tail onto Beijing with a pistol.
Yeah, I think that might have been a run out from the Valkyrie from up top. I'm not 100% positive. Yeah, it was a run out. So trying to get back inside, I think, was the Valkyrie. And then Futata was able to find the kill with the P226. But it doesn't matter, as a refrag comes immediately out from Raiden. And just like that, the Thatcher is going to go down. And in terms of utility, it actually I'd like to take that bet if I was on defense, but it doesn't necessarily matter anymore because the advantage is back in favor of the attackers. But Zofia, brought down to about 1 health, could die to that Maestro cam. And it looks like the push here and the final execute is stalling out just a little bit, with that Maestro cam still being a problem. And unfortunately, Matter just is having troubles picking up and putting down that. Talking about troubles, Raiden's able to find 4. And just like that, attempting to put the plant down. Oh my goodness. Bad Company wake up. And just like that, the defenders win. So they were so close, and kind of a round that was very, very slow and looked to be very, very typical. Getting the plant down, we saw Raiden just says, okay, no, I don't want any of that. Gets a quad kill, and just like that, Bad Company now 6-1 are put on to match point, and that was really out of nowhere.
Yeah, Raiden with the Alda, he peeks out, he gets 1 kill, gets 2, gets 3. So he got the runner onto the jump out onto the Thatcher, not too crazy, but then he gets 3 kills, 2 onto 2 people who should have been watching for the planter. Which is why that was pretty crazy in my opinion too, is that there had 2 people right next to the planter who was Thermite, and neither of them could deal with Raiden, who turned the corner and wide swung around Armory wall, on that wall of armor entrance to the Armory. So that's very surprising. It's one thing also that's been very noticeable in this match, is that Bad Company's gunplay seems to be a level ahead of Amnesty Gaming. There's a lot of times where Amnesty Gaming have been losing a lot of those 1v1s, one of those fights where they should have won, or at least should have had, you know, the refrag at least, because that's the big thing too, is refrag gets to the level, and that's what kind of scares me here from Amnesty Gaming. But again, these teams are a bit new. They're still on the lower side. They're learning. They're trying to get better at more than anything.
Yeah, and I feel like gun skill plays a part in it, but that last round I think was also just the push from Amnesty Gaming was extremely flawed. The fact that it took a super long time to address the Maestro cam, I don't even think they did address the Maestro cam, but Thermite picking up, dropping the diffuser, picking up, dropping the diffuser over and over and over again. It wasted a lot of time. Nobody was watching the wide swing from the Maestro, and it just turned into a very, very flawed attack from Amnesty Gaming, even though they had a lot of assets that would have made that attack very, very easy. It's just they didn't capitalize on them. That's just unfortunate. And like you said, it comes with time, and it comes with just playing over and over and over again. And Border is one of those maps that people play over and over and over again, so I was kind of expecting Amnesty Gaming to look a little bit more controlled and have a little bit more kind of organization to their entire push, organization into their entire holds. But there is definitely some major flaws that they're going to have to look over, but they can definitely fix them on the fly right now. Obviously they can't fix all of them, but they can fix the glaring ones right now, and they could come right back into this game, and maybe we'll have a match on our hands. So they are backed up into a corner. It is match point, but the last thing they can do, they're basically all alone. They don't really have many. Oh, as that's unfortunate there for Matter. But they're backed into a corner. The last thing they need to do right now is just kind of bite back and see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely bite back. See if they can bring it back. But again, they need to make 5 rounds in succession. A grenade comes through. Oh my god. Never mind. We are done. Seth
what
kills
is happening?
Ant. My apologies. Seth takes a lot of damage from the Valkyrie of Beijing as well. We're now down to a 4v1. Or maybe a 4v3 as Matter has been lagging very heavily as well. So maybe this game is over.
Yeah, I tried to give them some type of hope because I was like, oh, I'm being mean to them. But a frag grenade kill, that's a rookie mistake. You cannot be making those mistakes, especially in games like these where yes, you're down by a lot, but try to grab something out of this game. You want to get some type of traction. Just a 7-2 looks a lot better than a 7-1, and you cannot be making those stupid mistakes like that. But we are going to be seeing now the push has completely changed as Moose is able to find one in the Thunderbolt, but Dirty Dollars is able to find an immediate refrag, but it's going to be immediately refragged by Seth, and Frutata is able to put the slate right back into the attackers, and just like that, they think they have up top control, and now they do as they finally cleared out that Maestro, and even with that frag grenade kill, that was a very effective push up top, and they have a lot of map control in order to get the plant down and also defend the plant, but they are going to have to go through Naled first.
That's surprising. So that was a really big turnaround here from Amnesty Gaming. That's the motivation they need, as there's 1 kill, but it doesn't matter. Seth will refrag immediately, and Amnesty Gaming win their first attacking round. And that was, we were thinking it was looking really bad for Amnesty Gaming, but they fought with fire. They walked straight into archives, and they took every single fight. They won every single fight. And that's what's surprising so far, is we didn't see that from before. From this AG starting to wake up, and they're starting to win these fights, and they're starting to get their game down. What is going on? Because they need 4 more rounds in a row to come back.
I think the frag grenade kill actually kind of woke them up just a little bit, because they got the frag grenade kill, and then I think in their head they're like, whatever, the game's over, and then they just started playing their game and going all in, and it turned into a really, really good round for them. And talking about going all in, we saw a Tachanka pick. There is going to be sixth picked on to the Maestro, so that's, I guess, no BM there, but I think maybe that frag grenade kill allowed the side of Amnesty Gaming just to let go of all their strats and let go of their really kind of, basically their ideas that are kind of constricting them just a little bit, and they got a lot more loose, they got a lot more comfortable, and it resulted in a really good round for them. So maybe just channeling that loose playstyle and that chaos playstyle back into these last couple rounds, and maybe they could bring this back to maybe 6-5, 6-6 and force an overtime.
Maybe because of being casted, they may be nervous, because I've heard before too, people when they get casted, they get streamed, they do get nervous, they do play a bit, or play a bit off because of the fact that they're being streamed, they're being casted. Hopefully, maybe Amnesty is a little less nervous now. They're getting into the groove, they're starting to figure out what they can do, and they're going to bring these gunfights and win them out against BC, because I would love to see come back. If this comes to a 6-6 overtime, man, I'd be 100% surprised, because it was looking like BC was just wrecking them every single turn. A lot of just not aggressive plays from Amnesty Gaming. They seem to be very passive. They seem to be very, like, you know, lackadaisy in their fights. But we see them bring it back now. We see that fight before last round was very convincing. Hopefully it is. We'll love to see what happens, but we'll see what happens. Let's see, go upstairs. So back to the site downstairs. Ventilation Workshop. Again, last time they were able to get rid of these roamers quite quickly. Well, can they do the same this time, though?
Yeah, that last round from Amnesty Gaming was the most aggressive we've seen Amnesty Gaming play, and I think they got to play into that, as just like that, Seth is able to find one, and he's somehow already in the hallway, and nobody's called that out. That's going to be a free kill for him. It is going to be technically refragged. He can get picked back up here and just kind of keep the tables even in terms of man count, but Seth just walking in all by himself with no intel. That's very, very surprising. His aunt is able to find another one, and just kind of clearing upstairs is looking very, very good for Amnesty Gaming, but they just don't have enough intel. They got to recognize, hey, Nalad is sitting back there, because instead of getting trades, they could easily be getting a man advantage here, but I think they're just rushing it just a little bit too much. And yes, that aggressive play style is really, really good for them, and it's looking really good for them, but there's a very fine line between calculated aggression and just being aggressive to be aggressive. And right now, they're kind of going back and forth on that line, and they still haven't even cleared out this up top roam.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that they haven't really droned enough. You'll see the head of one. He does use the lifeline and know he's in the corner, but he won't make the shot. Thunderbolt gets the kill. Natalie even finishes up Moose, and now down to a 1v3. Looks like it's all over for Amnesty Gaming. Looks for Tata here. Can get a 1v3 clutch for his team. One player pushing through. Looks like it will be Thunderbolt on the Mozzie, trying to push a kill for Furtata. And he actually will get the headshot on to Furtata, and that's a GG's to Amnesty Gaming.
There's not much you can necessarily take away from that, except, you know, hindsight is 2020, and Amnesty Gaming definitely want to look back at this VOD and figure out what they did wrong. You learn more from your mistakes than you do your kind of wins, and unfortunately there was a lot of mistakes here for the side of Amnesty Gaming, but that's going to be also a lot of learning material for them, so they definitely want to try and look for that. But just like that, we are going to be most likely moving on to the next couple games. Unfortunately, because of that rehost, we can't see the full stats from all of these players, but already BC looking very, very solid. We're just going to have to see how far they get into this tournament, because like we said earlier on today, BC is one of those teams that they're either very on or they're very off, and if they can stay on the kind of momentum that they are getting off of this game, they could definitely be someone you want to keep an eye out for.
Definitely agree. I'd love to see. I've seen some very good games of BC. I've seen some really good bad games as well from them. It's very poor play from BC, but we'll see what happens. Again, guys, these is by rounds. We go by rounds. The first round is at 7 p.m. EST. Next round will be at 8:30 EST. So see you guys in about 20-30 minutes. Again, I've been Casper Beniel, joined by the lovely Red Cube. We'll see you guys soon.